Hi, welcome. This is Citi TV. My name is Nathan Kwa. Many thanks for joining us. We have to break into regular programming to give you this news that's coming in. Now, the South African Football Association, if you remember, a few weeks ago, filed a protest at FIFA. They were not happy with how the game involving themselves and the Black Stars went in the 2022 World Cup qualifier in Kumasi. Ghana won that game by a 0-0, and Andrea penalty settled the game. And after the South Africans felt a few things had gone wrong, there were a few untoward things in relation to the game, they filed a protest to FIFA for clarity and possible punishment or a possible review of the decision and ultimately the game. Well, FIFA has issued its determination of the matter. FIFA has thrown out the case put together by the South African FA, or put before it by the South African FA. That release came out not too long ago from FIFA's headquarters in Switzerland, and they've shared it all across so everybody can have an idea of what is going on. Now, in FIFA's estimation, they say that the appeal that the South Africans sent before them did not meet certain requirements, and they did not feel it was strong enough to warrant a reversal of the decision or a replay of the game in the worst case. So that decision has been thrown out. It means the Ghana FA is free to proceed with all the things he wants to do concerning qualifying for the next World Cup in Qatar. I'll be going into that decision. I've been joined by my colleague Daniel Cranting. Daniel, hi, how are you doing?
Hi Nathan, I'm very good.
Yeah, we were minding our business, doing other things when FIFA decided to give us the ruling. The rulings come at, I won't say late, a lot of people expected it to come in earlier, but your initial thoughts on the decision taken by World Football's governing body?
I'm not too surprised. That's because we all knew that if anything grand was going to happen, that is, if FIFA were going to order a replay and if they found whoever was culpable in this situation guilty, look, it was going to take a lot of evidence, a lot of groundbreaking evidence, things that they could possibly not overlook. And these situations, it's a bit difficult to have that sort of evidence when you come out with these allegations. And from where I sit, the way this whole thing started, it started off with the South Africans not too happy with the referee on the day. Then the following morning, they came out at a press conference. The fact that they had betting spikes, they had details in terms of betting deals going on behind the scenes in regards to the game. They spoke about the referee himself, how they thought he was influenced. But all those things they picked up on, and that's what I said earlier, they had to have proper backing in terms of evidence. And it just didn't seem to me that that was the case. And if you look at the ruling by FIFA, the fact that it's been thrown out with the reason that it did not meet their requirements, clearly they didn't have enough evidence to warrant a replay. Or of course, if all the things being equal, if you're looking at the allegations and then the possible sanctions, that if they were found guilty, look, it was going to be huge. And as I said, you need to have a certain level of evidence if you are going in for something like this. And clearly the South Africans didn't. So Ghana are free to move on with the rest of the plans in terms of qualifying from the World Cup. And of course, Ghanaians can now also be happy and appreciate that victory last month. Of course, when you win a game like this and it's stained with all this sort of controversy, some people may be skeptical and start thinking twice. But of course, it shows that this is a country of integrity. We take our football very seriously. And we've heard the Ghana Football Association president say it in the aftermath of the South Africans' petition. The fact that they were not too happy about the way they dragged the name of Ghana down the gutter. A lot of people outside there would listen to the South African press conferences and the stories that were going on in the media. And it made Ghana look very bad. That corruption tag was clearly there. Undertones were clearly there from what you could see, what the South Africans were saying and the sort of news they were broadcasting. So this ruling by FIFA just shows that the integrity of course, this football association and the country and how seriously we take our football. The fact that we'll not go through some certain means to get to where we are. It doesn't put the hard work of the players and the hard work of the technical team into question. It shows that they did their work and they deserved the win and truly Ghana into the playoffs of the World Cup.
Well, the FIFA statement, if you go through portions of it, they said South Africa's petition was deemed, quote, inadmissible by the disciplinary committee. It also went on to state that it did not meet certain requirements, Article 46 of FIFA's disciplinary code and Article 14 of the regulations of the preliminary competition of the World Cup 2022. Now, if you go through the the disciplinary code of FIFA, Article 46 talks about protest. It talks about protest. Now, that article is quite clear, and it states certain things that will have to, or the characteristics of the protest you file before FIFA. And I'll just run through quickly, and I'll get back to the guys. Now, it says that associations and their clubs are entitled to lodge protests. Protests must reach the disciplinary committee in writing, indicating the relevant grounds within 24 hours of the end of the match in question. The 24-hour time limit cannot be extended. For the sake of the smooth running of the competition, the corresponding competition regulations may shorten the protest time accordingly. Now, it says that if you go to point 4, a protest is admissible only if it is based on an eligible player's participation in a match as a consequence of that player not fulfilling the conditions defined in the relevant FIFA rules, B, an unfit field of play, as long as the referee was informed as soon as the problem was reported, and C, an obvious error by the referee as defined in Article 9 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code, in which the protest may be directed only at the disciplinary consequences of the referee's obvious error. So if you look at the case in question, Daniel, it's quite clear where FIFA based its decision on the referee's performance and whether or not he made an obvious error in handling the game.
If you listen to if you've read through and listened to the South Africa's the protest, they mentioned a number of incidents that happened in the game, the number of wrong decisions that went on in the game, and they said they won just 3, or they gained the advantage in just 3 out of I think the 46 wrong decisions that were made in the game, giving the majority of decisions to Ghana. But let's focus on the major decision that happened in the game, and that was that penalty.
The penalty,
incident. Yes. Look, we've heard the former captain Asamoah Gyan come out to say it was soft. We've heard Sam Johnson also agreeing that it was soft. But a soft penalty doesn't mean it's not a penalty.
Okay.
It just means that somebody may have given it, somebody may not have given it. And the last point in the FIFA article that you just read, it makes the bold statement obvious error. An obvious error is something we saw in that Senegal versus South Africa game under
Gio Lamte
where the ball hits the player's thigh and the referee whistles for a handball and a penalty. That is an obvious error. But when you look at the Dani Amate and Deruk incident, there was clear contact on his back. As to whether it was enough for him to fall, we don't know. That's why I always say, you are not the one supposed to go and tell Dani Amate how to react to that. But the referee saw hands on the back, he saw a shirt pull, and he called for a penalty. So it's clearly not obvious, and that is the reason why FIFA cannot base that major decision and say the game should be replayed. If that was the case, then every 50-50 decision that happens in football, we all go and protest in order for a replay. And clearly, the article says it has to be obvious, it has to be clear and obvious in order for them to even think about making a decision. And for that Ghana game, for that major decision in the game, there's a school of thought that believes it was a penalty, like myself. And there's a school of thought that also believes it was a bit soft and maybe shouldn't have been given. But that is not obvious enough. Well,
still watching Citi TV. We are delving into the news that's just come in. FIFA throwing out the South African Football Association's appeal against Ghana, or in relation to that game they played with Ghana at the Cape Coast Stadium on November 14, 2021. It was a World Cup qualifier. It was a decider, essentially, who was going to top the group. In the end, the Black Stars won. They went on top of that group. They are now in the playoffs. That will be decided a little later. Fento Tahiri has joined us, Citi Sports editor. Fento, initial thoughts on this news? I don't know whether you were expecting it today, but it just came out of the blue, really, and now we are here.
Yeah, it's usually very it's a bit confusing when a holiday is not a universal holiday. So while all of us might have taken our eyes off the ball a little bit, FIFA definitely full working day for them. And they were working on this decision, and it's finally being out. I think we expected the decision to come out by the end of the week. That was the initial impression that we all had. And once it was started, the decision wasn't in. And it was a Friday. Friday was a holiday in Ghana. Lots of people didn't think it would come, but it did. Came around 1 p.m. thereabout, and I think it's a decision that doesn't surprise me. I would have been surprised if this decision went a different way. Honestly, because apart from even the merits of the case which Daniel is delved into, you also have to even look at technicalities that are involved in filing a case. South Africa did not file the case within the stipulated period of time. When the game is over, you have exactly. You have to be able to file the protest within 2 hours after the match ended. What the South Africans did was tell the match official, the fourth official or the match commissioner, sorry, that they intended to file a protest. That is, intending to file a protest is not the same as filing a protest, and so that in itself technically was a foul for them. So that wasn't going to stand. Okay. And then when they eventually filed the case, they didn't present evidence. They requested for 2 clear days to use to gather the evidence. You can't, and that is not, you can't do that. It's either you have the evidence or you don't have the evidence. So if you're filing the case, you have to file the case together with your evidence at the same time. And beyond that, even after they submitted their first case, they went on to write subsequently to FIFA again, introducing new evidence. So, you know, that was when they introduced the whole idea of a Ghana FA official traveling to Senegal. That was done like weeks after they had filed the protest. So if you look at it, even from the technical point of view, South Africa stood no chance before you can then even go into the merits of the case itself. And like you guys rightly said, you know, unless it is a clear and obvious error and it can be proven. You see, and the very first day, and I have made this point before, and I think I made it on Panorama, that when you look at South Africa shot themselves in the foot by the way they titled their protest and the things they claimed had taken place in this particular match. You know, they only did not go in looking for, looking to catch the referee or looking to ask FIFA to dismiss the referee or overturn the decision because the referee had fixed the game together with some third parties. They also alleged corruption, they alleged bribery, they alleged match manipulation, they alleged a whole lot of things. And all those things can and should involve and involves so many different parties and so much proof. Because one, if you're alleging match fixing by a third party, then you're claiming, and this is one, that you're claiming that maybe some betting syndicate somewhere colluded with the referee, paid him money to award that decision because they put a bet on it so they can cash out. That is one. If you're alleging bribery, that you're saying that perhaps someone from the Ghana Football Association paid the referee money so he can officiate the game in favor of Ghana. You have to prove that. And then you talk about corruption. So who was corrupt? The referee? If you said the referee is corrupt, you have to be able to prove beyond all reasonable doubt that the referee was corrupt. Then they said that there was upsurge in betting in stakes on the match before the game, betting spikes. If that happens, you have to prove that that was because people had prior knowledge. How do you prove that someone had prior knowledge of the result of a certain match? And how is that different from all the other circumstances involving betting when it comes to matches? Because before every match kicks off, so many people bet on the game. And actually, a lot of people wait for the match to start so they can see how the match is going. Then they start to bet on the match. They start to play on the live, live in-play betting. So if somebody, at that point, if somebody saw that, and to be honest, when the game started up until the penalty, the most likely team to score was Ghana. So if people saw the way Ghana were wasting chances, it was only a matter of time before they scored. So any sensible person would clearly go and put their money behind Ghana to score first. So how do you prove that that was in connection to betting, but not because people actually thought that Ghana had a chance of scoring first? But, you know, I spoke to Prosper Harrison Addo, the GFA General Secretary, just before I got here. I think we've got that video.
Okay, all right. So let's hear what the GFA's General Secretary, Prosper Harrison Addo, has got to tell us in relation to the breaking news that South Africa's appeal in relation to that game involving the Black Stars and themselves has been thrown out by World Football Governing Body FIFA.
So I can confirm that FIFA has sent us the decision, both the SAFA and the GFA. And the decision is very simple, that the protest is inadmissible. And so, per the rules, any of the parties can write to get the full details if we want to, which we intend to do on Monday, because we need the full details to share with Ghanaians. Ghanaians have been very supportive. They've been patient. irrespective of all the jabs coming from our colleagues. Ghanaians have been very patient, even when our economy was brought into it. In fact, the embodiment of our state was brought into it. This is a football matter, and we should have just allowed it to stay within the football ecosystem. If the SAFA was talking about the Ghana Football Association, it would be okay, because we are on the same level and we understand. But the moment you bring the Ghana economy into it and the country Ghana and the government of Ghana into it, then you've crossed the boundary. And that is why the FA president was so livid and was so annoyed and had to voice out. And we as a FA has to voice out, because we cannot sit aside for our colleague in SAFA to disrespect the country Ghana. They can deal with the FA. It's FA association to association. You've done the protest, it's been sent to us, we responded to the protest, and then we'll leave. As responsible associations, you just have to wait for the decision to come out. And as we pleaded with Ghanaians to be patient, and that we know the rules, we've looked at the rules, we've quoted the rules. Indeed, they did not quote any regulation. We quoted the regulation, both from the qualifying regulation to the FIFA 2022 World Cup, and then the FIFA disciplinary code. And so we were sure that what we were saying is supported by the regulations, and then we will win this protest. And as we said, they did not pay the process fee within the time limit. They did not file the protest the right way within the time limit. They did not bring any evidence. Rather, they chose to shout wolf and then to say that give us 72 hours, which is 3 days, to go and find the evidence. It's either you have evidence or you don't. If there is a cause to protest, then it means you have the cause already. You don't say that I'm protesting and then you say that 3 days time you bring the details. The rules are very clear. The rule says that within 24 hours you must bring your full details so that the other party would have benefit of it and to respond to it accordingly. And so we are grateful to all Ghanaians for the patience and for the trust they had in us, and for the fact that they remain calm in the face of all the things that were said about Ghana. We are grateful.
Okay.
All right, so that was Prosper Harrison, Ado of the Ghana Football Association. It looks like they are happy. Now, a few weeks ago, when the protest was put together by the South Africans, about 2 days later, the GFA also responded in a very interesting manner. You never see the GFA upset about something like this. Keto Kweku was livid, he was upset and all of that. But the South Africans have quickly responded to this decision. Now, let me go through what they have put out there. Now, there's a story that I think that's on Citi Sports Online saying that SAFA to consider options after FIFA dismisses Ghana protest. Now, the South Africa Football Association will consider its options after the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, dismissed its protest following Bafana's 1-0 controversial 1-0 loss to the Black Stars last month. SAFA CEO Advocate Teboho Motlanthe, interesting name, said once SAFA got reasons for the outcome, it would sit down and weigh its options. And there's a quote, "We have received the decision without details and will request FIFA for the reasons and consider our options," end quote. So, guys, that's coming from the South Africans. Does it surprise anybody?
No, and I think Prosper Harrison Ado alluded to the same thing, that once they get the details of the story, of the decision, then everybody can consider their options, because the GFA themselves are considering suing South Africa for defamation. So they will have to look at the details and what the ruling says, and what reasons they attach to every single allegation or every single proof that they provided there, and then a decision would be taken. But I cannot see. So I think that the wisest thing for South Africa to do at the moment is just to let sleeping dogs lie, because there's no point pursuing this matter at the Court of Arbitration for Sport. At the moment, that is their only next reasonable option, whether to pursue this at the Court of Arbitration for Sport, because they would just be wasting everybody's time. What's most important is for them to get back, focus on their rebuilding process, and I think that they've really started well. This coach seemed to have given them a certain sense of belief, and he's introduced a lot of young players into this Bafana team. So they should focus on that. And I think that even for them, even before this decision came out, 2 days ago, I did a story from the Bafana head coach,
Hugo
Bruce, where he said that he can't see FIFA ordering this match to be replayed because for that to happen, there has to have been some very incredible evidence against the referee, or proving that someone bribed the referee or someone gave the referee money. Because as Daniel said, in that South Africa versus Senegal match where Joseph Lamptey officiated the match and the match was ordered to be replayed, enough evidence was found against Joseph Lamptey, including all of the bank transfers into his account from people from Thailand, some banking syndicates. And, you know, the referee doesn't work for anyone in Thailand. You're getting money transfers from people in Thailand and all that. That's a betting syndicate. That's clear evidence that you took money to manipulate the game. In this case, referee in the Maget, I'm not sure. And you see, the most ridiculous thing is that the Ghana FA official that they tried to claim went to Senegal before the game hadn't been to Senegal since 2019.
Interesting stuff. Daniel, so I don't know. I mean, it will be difficult for us to really know what's happening in South Africa, but how do you think the South African football public will digest this ruling? And do you think there are people who, after this ruling, will look at SAFA and probably now direct their anger back at SAFA after all of this has happened?
I don't think so. Why? It's because of the nature and the way this whole saga started. It was clearly and look, I'm not going to mince words. It was the FA and their media calculated and fed it to the public.
Okay.
So if you read the comments, and of course, we can only get this from what we see on social media from the South African side and the rest of Africa, it was what exactly their FA and their media men were telling them that they were telling back to us. And that informed the way they took the news. Of course, they already felt a bit cheated in the game. They were already disappointed that they didn't qualify. Then the FA and the media men are coming out. Even before the game, first of all, we made them travel 9 hours from Accra to Cape Coast. All these little things started. And of course, for somebody who lives in South Africa, doesn't know the geography of Ghana, doesn't understand these things, it is whatever they are telling you that you are taking. And that's why I don't think they'll redirect their anger. I just think they'll direct their anger still at Ghana, at FIFA for probably making the wrong decision, and then maybe as time goes on, they'll learn to move past it. But I want to touch on the issue of the Ghana Football Association's next move.
Yes.
And I think it's very important that they sue the SAFA. It is, you could tell the agenda behind this thing. And I'm saying that it's an agenda because we could see the signs clearly. 2 days before the Ghana-South Africa game, the South Africa faced Zimbabwe. That was after Ghana had faced Ethiopia. And then the Zimbabwe coach tells the South African coach that good luck coming to Ghana, good luck finding a training pitch in Ghana. That is a start. Then the following morning, a very well-respected journalist on Twitter says Ghana made them travel 9 hours by road from Accra to Cape Coast, and everybody in South Africa was incensed, which practically makes no sense at all. It's not even possible in this current traffic. It's not possible.
You know, it's even against the FIFA law.
Yes, you can't even travel 9 hours.
When you pick on that statement, then you understand.
The limit is 6 hours. If the place is over, you're not allowed to drive.
And if you listen to Kurt's response to that particular issue, he said, we decided, that is Ghana, to fly our team from Accra to Takrady and then take a
short trip
to Cape Coast. That is planning. You came to Accra, had the choice to travel by flight or road, and you chose road. Nobody asked you to go by road. But even by road, you got a convoy which sent you there within an hour. And the interesting thing about this thing is also, if you look at the South Africa or the Bafana Twitter handle, they tweeted every point and every stop. So when they reached Ghana, they tweeted. When they reached Cape Coast, they tweeted. If you do the calculation, it's not even 4 hours. So these things, you could tell that they were preparing for the West. That if they don't win, then these are the things they are going to.
This was their story.
Of course, this is the angle they are going to take. So I think, and based on what we've seen in the aftermath of it, the sort of responses we've had on social media, the sort of things that we've heard reputable people on the continent say about this country, if you don't take a step and you don't put your foot down and say you are taking it to these guys and you are going to make them pay for some of the loose stuff they did. It's not going to end. And people are going to think that you've just gotten away with a poor FIFA decision. So the GFA needs to act. And I really understand the anger from Kate, because it is a serious disrespect to the Black Stars. They've trained for months for this moment. It is robbed. And you see, even the more painful thing is that there were some Ghanaians who started doubting. And
a lot of them.
Look, a lot of Ghanaians started doubting the team, started thinking about what has already happened in the GFA, time, the
and even after, and even when the South Africans filed the protest, there were a few people I spoke to who said, we said it, there was something wrong and all.
Exactly.
You know.
So I think the GFA really needs to act, and not just the GFA. The innocent referee in DIE, he's sitting in his country, he's come, he's done his job, he's gone back, and his name has been dragged here and there into the mud. He also needs to sue them. So in DIE is suing South Africa.
The GFA
is suing South Africa. So that next time, when you are pained by a defeat, when you deserve to lose, you will think about it from a technical point of view and try and fix yourself. So next time when you come, you win. Not go through all these silly avenues just to make everybody look bad for your people.
And they're very lucky that the FIFA laws don't work like the Ghana laws,
where if you lose a protest, you get
frivolous protest. They will slap you with a fine for bringing a frivolous protest. But I agree with Daniel completely. I think action should be taken. If no legal action is taken, I think definitely South Africa, there has to be some reparation process involved, because I honestly don't think that Ghana football's reputation has been done any good in the last few weeks. It's been dragged in the mud, and it's being helped by their media, which is quite unfortunate. And it's a lesson to us as well, because trust me, if Ghana makes it to the World Cup, everybody benefits. Now, you can say all you want and disagree about people chopping money, but when it comes to, it is in our interest as journalists that our country does well in international competitions. This is not rocket science. It's the basics. So if you go out there, if you're a journalist and this thing happens and some other countries' journalists are dragging our team, you see, when you have the facts, move with the facts. Don't hide behind history. History is beautiful. It guides us. But the history also tells us that we're on a new path. And you should believe in the new path. And don't drag us, use our history to drag us and say that, Ghana football,
especially when it's coming from Ghana.
That's what I'm saying. Because some of that information about somebody from GFA going to Senegal, it's Ghanaian people who leaked it to South Africans, even though it was untrue. Because how could somebody in South Africa know, even the person we are talking about doesn't even work with the GFA, and somehow
they say
it's not, you know. And you know, there was a whole, within last week, I don't know if you saw, a lot of South African media people were claiming that the fact that FIFA were delaying a decision means Ghana should be worried because they have received new evidence and now they are considering it. And, you know, so you can just tell that there was a proper structured media cabal behind this thing, and it tells you the power of the media. And if we rally behind our very own, especially when our country is being dragged through the mud, that is not that you know, it's quite unfortunate. But I always say, and this is the last thing that I will say, that it doesn't matter that South Africa, Ghana, whoever is being dragged on this matter. The truth of the matter is, if there was something untoward that had gone on, it would be in all of our interests for the truth to have been discovered. Right, because we don't want to corrupt referees in the system. Neither do we want corrupt football association officials. So it's even in the interest of the Ghana FA themselves that the truth came out. And the truth is what has come out at the moment is what FIFA has decided. But if something untoward had happened, it would have been in all of us, our interest, for the truth to be found out and for the right people to be punished, so that we can clean our football of all of the bad nuts.
All right. Thank you very much, friends. Thank you very much, Daniel. And thank you very much for watching. This has been I call it a breaking news, just in discussion on FIFA's decision on the appeal put together by the South African FA in relation to that game played on November 14 at the Cape Coast Stadium. Ghana beat South Africa 1-0. They topped their group. They are in the playoffs, but the South Africans felt something or some things were done in the wrong manner. A few untoward things happened. They put a case to FIFA. FIFA has thrown it out because they say the appeal is inadmissible and it did not meet the standards required for that appeal to be upheld by FIFA's disciplinary committee. You can continue the discussions wherever you are. Of course, the stories are on citisportsonline.com, the various angles. We'll see what the GFA does. We'll see what SAFA does. Personally, I'm even interested to see how Ghana will relate with South Africa going forward the next time they are put together to play football at any level and across any gender or whatever national team. We'll see how it plays out. But thank you for watching. My name is Nathan. This has been a breaking news segment on Citi TV. But do stay, don't go anywhere, because at 4 p.m. we'll give you the live coverage of the semi-finals of the Accra Senior Tennis Open Championships happening at the Accra Lawn Tennis Club. Fantastic stuff there. We'll be there to give you all the games. There's one great semi-final on the singles side, and there's a mixed double semi-finals also happening today. So stay tuned to Citi TV as we serve you the best in sports and all other aspects of news. My name is Nathan Kwa. Many thanks for watching. We'll catch you in a bit with the live coverage of the Accra Senior Tennis Open Championships. Do stay tuned.